Well, hello there everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm not entirely sure what today's video is going to be called, but I'm basically planning on filming the whole of the house buying process and collating everything together into one video, which will end up being this. So before we begin, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any more house content. And other than that, let's get started. So by now, I'm assuming I would have already uploaded a separate video of myself and Charlie viewing houses. We did that about 2 weeks ago or so now. It's currently Saturday the 23rd of April. Prior to viewing all of those houses, we had already spoken to a mortgage advisor and obtained a mortgage in principle, which is basically when they say we will potentially lend you X amount of money based on you paying a certain percentage of a deposit. So for myself and Charlie, we are paying a 10% deposit on the property that we're going to go for, and we will be lent a certain amount of money towards the mortgage to help us with that. And then after viewing all of those properties, we eventually viewed one that we thought was perfect for us. And it was really unusual because when we first started looking, we just went to view new builds to rule them out because we didn't really think that's what we wanted, as you do have to sacrifice a lot of space. But after weighing up the pros and the cons, we actually decided that a new build would be perfect for us. I'm not going to go into loads of detail, so if you have any more further questions about things like that, then do comment them down below, because I assume this video is going to be very lengthy, so I don't want to expand on things too much. But we basically found the new build of our dreams and we were so excited about it, so we decided to get the ball rolling and try and start looking at buying that. So that leads us up until today, which in about 10 minutes or so we're going to leave the house. We have an appointment booked in with the company that we're going to buy this new build house with, and in that appointment we're basically going to discuss a lot of nitty-gritty things. I'm not entirely sure what, so I will let you know a little bit later on, but the whole purpose of this appointment is to negotiate prices, ask final questions and potentially make a reservation on our property, which will hold our plot for us. It's all really exciting and I am trying to maintain a very neutral stance on it because I don't want to get ahead of myself, because even after we've made the reservation today, our mortgage could still fall through. I don't think the chances of that are very high, but never say never, so I am trying not to get my hopes up. I think I've mentioned all of the main information that I needed to there. But yeah, welcome to this video. I really hope you enjoy. Subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any other house content. And other than that, let's head off to our very first appointment where we're potentially going to start buying our first home together. So we are currently standing in the show home for what could potentially be our new future house. I'm really excited about it. Obviously we get to pick all of our own flooring and cupboards and things like that, but we just wanted to double check the show home one more time to make sure that we definitely like the layout. This one does differ slightly to the one that we'll be buying because I don't currently have a show home for that at the moment. So it differs in terms of in the upstairs we won't have an ensuite and the two smaller bedrooms will be more of an equal size. I'm going to take you around with me quickly because we have got to get back to our meeting, but I did show this in a lot more detail in our viewing houses vlogs, so you can go and check that out if you haven't already. So this is what you see when you first come into the house. Plenty of space in the corridor, which we really like because it opens up the whole house. You've got the staircase there and also a little cupboard here which just hides a fuse box and things like that, which we really appreciate. Coming into the kitchen, again we choose all of our own countertops and things, but the layout is an L shape in terms of all of the cupboards. We will have integrated appliances like the double oven I think we're going to go for, and also the fridge and the freezer over there. We choose our own doors as well, so ours will look slightly different to that. They also do have room for a little bar stool table, I think you call that, which I do really like. Little cubby hole down there, not too sure what we'd use that for. This is a massive storage cupboard which goes into the length of the stairs. And then round here we have a downstairs toilet which is actually really big in size, which is quite surprising actually, so you could probably get a little bit more storage in there if you were strapped for it. In here we have my beautiful seat arm and also the living room. The garden will look completely different because this is a show home, so they make them bigger to tempt you a little bit more. And then if I quickly run upstairs with you, here we go. Don't mind me just walking up to my future bedroom. This is so exciting. Our landing does differ slightly, as I've already said, because the rooms are different, but this is the bigger bedroom. You can buy integrated wardrobes. I'm not sure if we're going to do that or if we'll get a separate company to do it because the add-ons are quite expensive. But yeah, this is basically what it is, what you'd expect I suppose. The ensuite is down there, but like I say, we won't have one. Then over here we have the bathroom. Again, you choose all your own tiles, but I do really like what they've done in here, to be fair. Don't mind me, I'm really out of breath. And then this is the second bedroom. Ours will be slightly smaller than this, but that's absolutely fine because we don't have a spare bed as a double. We just have it as a single. Integrated wardrobe in here as well, which we won't do. I really like all the mirrors in this place. And then this is the third bedroom. I think ours will be a much similar size to this. And this is so cute for like a little girl's room. I absolutely love it. But that was a quick tour of the house. Comment down below and let me know what you think, if you like it or if you don't. We're now going to head back to our appointment with the lady that we booked in with, ask all of our questions and hopefully reserve the plot. Apologies about the weird angle. Charlie's car is the weirdest one to film in. There's just nowhere to put the camera at all. But we've just reserved our house. I actually can't believe I'm just saying that. That feels so surreal, and I was trying not to scream with excitement and things whilst we were in our appointment because I didn't want the sales assistant to think that we were all so excited. So I had a pretty straight face, but we've just done it. We've just paid our reservation fee. So whatever you pay in reservation often comes off the total cost of the solicitors, incentives, things like that. Speaking of incentives, those are all of our add-ons, so choosing our floors and kitchen cupboards. At the start, it seemed like she wasn't going to give us any money off that, but we haggled and we pushed and we ended up getting it to £1,000 off the kitchen cupboards, and then she put it up again to £1,500 off, which is pretty much going to pay for all of the add-ons that we want in the kitchen, which is such good news. So she answered all of our questions, pretty much everything that we wanted to ask she answered as she went through all of the information. This appointment is one where we looked at all of the important nitty-gritty things like drainage systems and things like that. It's quite boring stuff, but our main questions were about the incentives and things, as I've already mentioned. So we were really happy with everything that she said, and we decided to put down our reservation fee, and I just can't believe we've done it. It feels really surreal. I'm feeling really happy but also a bit nervous now about what's to come. So our next steps are to get in touch with the solicitors and let them know what's going on. We've already chosen a solicitor, so that's pretty much straightforward from here. And we also need to change our mortgage in principle to a full mortgage. We're going with Santander just because they offered the best things, so we need to instruct those to do that and actually apply for it. So it could still go a little bit tits up, but the chances of that happening are quite low. And then our final next step is that we've got booked in for an appointment next Monday. It's bank holiday Monday. I can't remember the exact date. I'll let you know closer to the time. And that's when we're going to go back to speak to the lady we've just spoken to and choose all of our add-ons. So I suppose that is when I'll pick you up next and I'll update you all on the solicitors and things that have happened over the next week or so, and then we'll choose all of our added extras to the house. Hi there guys, future me popping in here because on my little list I have notes to say that on the 30th of April I filmed a clip and I just can't seem to find that clip anywhere, so I'm going to read you my notes and let you know what went on so that you don't miss out, because it was quite a significant one. So on the 30th of April, I apparently jumped on here to tell you guys that over the past week we paid our mortgage advisors £500 as the mortgage application was complete, and that was the total cost of it. And we actually changed our bank to TSB that we got the mortgage from. Can't exactly remember the reason why, but it was something to do with us buying a new build, so we switched to TSB and they did that on our behalf. It's probably worth mentioning that you don't actually need a mortgage advisor when you are buying a house. You can send off applications yourself and they'll still get accepted and you'll go through the process yourself. However, as first time buyers, myself and Charlie thought that this was a cost that we were happy to pay because we didn't really have much knowledge on this whole process. And I have to say, now that we've reached the end of it, because I am actually in the new house if you can't tell by the bare background behind me, they were absolutely amazing, our mortgage advisors, and we are so happy that we went with them. The communication was amazing all the way throughout and they made the process feel so smooth and easy, and there was no stress there at all on their behalf. So shout out to Alder Rose mortgage advisors. I'll put them somewhere on the screen in case any of you want to check them out. On the 30th of April, we also paid our solicitors the first instalment of cash, which was also £500, to instruct them to start their searches. They do a lot of environmental searches around the area of the house where it's being built, so we paid them £500 to do that. I won't shout those out because we were not happy with their service, and you will see as we go throughout the video that they did cause us a lot of stress in the end, so I'm not going to shout those out, but that's something that we paid at the time. And then to finish off with, the 30th of April was a very significant day because it was the day that we went into our sales advisor and we selected all of the options for our house. So with a new build, I'm sure I would have already mentioned, you get to pick like your carpets or your flooring, the tiles for your bathroom, things like that. So we went in to choose our options, and I did film some clips for that, so I'll insert them here. After getting to the office, our sales advisor let us go through the options independently at first, which was a really good way of doing things as it was much less stressful. We then sat down with her and locked in all of our options because we were confident with the choices that we made, and you will see the options that we picked in an upcoming clip. Just for full transparency, these options are an additional cost, and ours came to about £4,500. You pay this in 2 instalments, one at the start of the process and one at the end. And a very good evening, everyone. Do excuse my egghead appearance and my quiet voice. It is really late and Charlie's already upstairs in bed, so I'm trying to keep my voice down. But it's currently the 4th of May 2022, and today our mortgage offer was accepted by the bank, which is amazing and feels like a really big step in the right direction. Our offer is valid for 6 months, so if the build gets pushed back, then that's kind of okay. I can't work out off the top of my head when 6 months from now is. Is it November-ish, October-ish, November-ish? So we've got up until then. So if the build gets pushed back, we have got, you know, a little bit of time for that. But so far things are looking good, and they're saying that they expect us to move in by July, like late July, which I don't really see happening, if I'm honest, but that's what they're saying, so we'll roll with it for now and won't act surprised if it gets pushed back. Well, hello again everyone. Long time no house update. I feel like the last time I added to this video was probably around the end of May, and it's now the 22nd of June 2022, and I have a few more updates for you, so I thought I would just sit down and share them with you all. So last week we received our official contracts for the house, and today we went into our solicitor's office to sign them all and also do our final ID verification checks in front of one of their witnesses. So we are now considered to be official legal house buyers and soon to be homeowners, which is really exciting. We are now legally binded to the house, so there is no turning back, which is quite scary at the same time too. The next steps for us now, legal wise, are to pay our deposit. That's probably going to be done within the next week or so. And we've also been asked at this point to pay the first instalment of our add-ons. So all of the flooring and things which we chose what feels like a lifetime ago, we will be paying those within probably the next day because we need to get in contact with them as soon as possible. We have received some new information in regards to the progress of the build and completion and things, and we've been told that at the moment our house is kind of going to take a back seat because they're working on a lot of the external stuff, so roads, grass, other people's houses that are kind of connected to ours, and until all of that sort of stuff is done we can't move into our house anyway. So although it's quite frustrating that we're not going to see much progress on our house, I suppose I need to tell my impatient self to sit tight and be happy that the external work is still being done, because that's obviously really important as well. And then the final update that they gave us is a little bit disappointing, but it is a pushback, and they've pushed our moving date back to August potentially. It could still be pushed back a little bit more, it could be brought forward, who knows, but as of now they are saying that it will likely be an August move-in date, which essentially is fine for us because our contract here doesn't run out until August anyway, and we have been told that we can pay on a month-by-month basis, so that's okay for us. But yeah, those are all of the updates that I have for you as of now. I really look forward to tuning in and chatting with you all again, because I know that next time I do, it's obviously going to be quite a significant step, and now that our house is so close to finishing, it just makes me really excited to keep adding to this video, because the more I add, the closer we get into the end result and the closer we are to move it in. Okay, can we just excuse my appearance for a minute? For some reason I'm really cold and I don't know why, and my hair, because it's tucked into my dressing gown, is making me look like Lord Farquaad off Shrek, so don't mind that. But we are overdue a house update and a build update, so I thought I would sit down and fill you in on everything at once. So today it's the 27th of July and last week we paid the majority of our deposit. We're waiting for the rest of it to be paid, but those funds need to come out of a lifetime ISA. So we've signed to say that those can be transferred, but we're just waiting for that to happen. So the majority of the deposit has been paid, but we're just waiting on a little bit of the rest of it, which should come in due course. Today we also received another document to sign, which is called a declaration of trust. This is something which outlines the percentage of the house that I'm going to own and a percentage of the house that Charlie is going to own, and it does cost extra from the solicitors, which is something that I wasn't actually aware of before we got into all of this, and hopefully we'll sign that off tonight and then send it tomorrow morning. On a more exciting note, we also received an email today to say that our contracts have officially been exchanged, which, to sum it up nicely, means that we are now homeowners, which doesn't really feel real at the moment. I feel like it's not gonna sink in till much later on, but it just sounds like a saying right now. It's hard to believe because we've also received some news about our build update, which is a little bit more unfortunate. So we've been told that the build is slightly delayed and they have pushed our potential move-in date back until the end of September. I'm not gonna lie, it is quite frustrating because when we started this process we were told June or July, and even though we never expected that to happen because we could see with our eyes that that's not really going to happen, and you know, we're not professionals, but it was just obvious. So even though we knew that it wasn't going to be then, it's just frustrating that it gets pushed back in increments rather than just being told you're moving in September or you're moving in November or December. Like, if we know, we can prepare. So it's a little bit like putting me on edge knowing that it gets pushed back bit by bit and we can never really be certain of when we're going to move in. But having said that, we are just happy now that things seem to be moving along legal wise, because our solicitors do seem to be on the slow side when it comes to a lot of things, and their communication hasn't been great. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite poor of a service given that you pay so much money for them. So we are just happy that things are moving along legally. Even if the build has been pushed back a little bit, it's reassuring that things are still happening and kind of the cogs are still turning, if that makes sense. So on the 10th of August, myself and Charlie actually had a meeting called Meet the Site Manager, and it's exactly what it says on the tin. You get to meet the site manager and he takes us into our house. This is us seeing it for the first time, and oh my goodness, it looked amazing. I didn't expect it to be as far along inside as it was, and this meeting is basically just an excuse to see the inside of the house, make any requests known. So we requested that our skirting boards in like the kitchen and the hallway and things were only tacked on rather than fully placed on, because we didn't buy flooring with our developer and we're getting that delivered by somebody else, so we didn't want to damage the skirting boards as we took them off. But here is a sneak piece of the upstairs of the house. You've already seen the downstairs. This meeting is 100% worth it if you get the chance to go, so I would highly recommend. Well, hello again everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I apologise for the weird lighting in this clip. It started getting dark really early on. Have no idea when it happened, but it's currently the 1st of October and I'm coming to you with a new house update. It's been a hot minute since I've added to this video. I believe it's probably been around the 2-month mark since I last spoke to you all, and that's just because not much has been happening. We've literally just been waiting for the house to be built. Nothing's really been required of us or our legal team, so it's just been a bit of a waiting game, which is frustrating but also really exciting. But the reason I'm coming on here is to tell you all that today we've had an email to say that we've got NHBC sign off, I believe, which is basically just an inspection that every new build house has to pass, and ours has passed, which is really, really good news. We now are waiting for the final home inspection to take place. I believe it's called a home quality inspection, something along those lines. That's scheduled for next week. Someone's coming in to do it next week to the new house, and if that passes, then they'll be able to serve us our 10 days notice, at which point we have 10 days until we get the keys. So hopefully we should be moving in round about the 20th of October, if the maths is correct off the top of my head. And so I thought I would jump on, give you that little update, and hopefully soon I'll be coming on to let you know that we've had our notice and kind of the legal steps that take place following that. But for now, that's just the only short, sharp, snappy update. Hi again guys, it has been a little while since I last updated you all and slightly longer than I anticipated. It's currently the 12th of October 2022 and it's safe to say that up until this point the house buying process has been very smooth, give or take, you know, the odd pushback in the build which we kind of expected. It's all gone according to plan. However, this past week has honestly been the most stressful. I don't really know where to begin. So myself and Charlie were getting quite worried because we didn't have any updates regarding our final home inspection, and like I said in the last clip, until that inspection had been passed they couldn't serve notice, and our mortgage offer was running out. So we were trying to call our developer to ask for updates, and it turns out that our sales advisor was off sick, and we were told that there weren't really any plans in place for us until she returned, but that they didn't know when that was going to be. But obviously because of our mortgage offer running out, we were very time pressured, and we were kind of in the position where if we had to get a new mortgage offer, we probably wouldn't be able to afford it given the current climate. Now that interest rates have gone up massively and payments have gone up massively, the sale would have probably fallen through. So over the past week we've been putting a lot of pressure on our developer, our mortgage advisors and our solicitors, which I know sounds awful, but myself and Charlie are probably two of the most less pestery people when it's come to buying a house, because we are quite laid back and we understand that there's delays and things like that, and we're happy for them to kind of take charge and do what they need to do. But because of the time pressure, we have been badgering them this past week, and no one seems to have been able to tell us anything other than our mortgage advisors, who have been incredibly helpful at chasing everything up for us and just trying their best to make the plan fall together. Our mortgage advisors did actually apply for a mortgage offer extension because they were concerned that our mortgage offer was going to run out if we didn't get any sort of notice served to us this week. So at one point it wasn't really looking too good, if I'm being honest. However, today Charlie has been badgering people enough to manage to get through to the regional office for our developer, and she expressed her dissatisfaction that there's been no plan put in place for us should someone go off sick, because you would think that that would be, you know, already set in stone, and has also kind of emphasised that if we don't get notice served that the sale could fall through, which obviously isn't in their best interest. So they put the phone down to her, and then they gave her a call back a little bit later on and informed her that the home inspection, the final one, has actually been passed and that notice can be served. So we're going to be able to book in for our home demo next week, which is just a meeting where someone meets us at the new house, shows us all around it, how everything works, which is really exciting. And then we can also have our final notice of our 10 days to move in. So they've told us that we will be moving in no later than the 27th, and they've given us the 27th of October as our provisional kind of move-in date, which is kind of scary because that is the day before our mortgage offer runs out. But if that all goes according to plan, then we should be fine, and if not, then hopefully we hear back about the mortgage extension, and hopefully we will be granted one, because it's kind of extenuating circumstances. It's nothing that we've kind of done, no fault of our own, so fingers crossed. But so far it looks like the 27th is going to be our move-in date, which I'm really excited about. But I will update you further and let you know how it all goes. Oh my gosh guys, this is the update that we've been waiting for ever since this video started. Today it's the 27th of October 2022, so it's been just over 6 months, and my god, what a 6 months it has been. But today we've received an email from our solicitors to say that the funds have been received and transferred across to the developer of our house, and we've then had confirmation from the developer that they've received the funds, and we are now in the car on our way to pick up the keys. And it doesn't even feel real. It doesn't even feel, I was about to say I'm so excited, but it doesn't actually feel like this is happening. It still feels like we're waiting for it, or it's not quite happened yet. This is This is madness. As you can see, we've got some things in the back of the car to take in with us because we were expecting this email today, as I would have told you in a previous clip. We just weren't entirely sure what the time would be. So it's now 1 o'clock, or just coming up to 1:30 actually, and we've left work early. We've both got the afternoon off to go and collect the keys, have a little look around and start moving in little boxes and things this afternoon, which is just so exciting. Yeah, I can't quite believe it, but this, I suppose, is where I need to draw this video to a close because the home moving process is complete. We're about to go and get the keys, and that is literally the end. I will be filming a separate moving in vlog which will come on my channel probably after this, because we're not actually going to move in until Saturday. But for now, I think that's all of the information that I actually have for you that you need for this video. So I feel like this is going to be a really long one. If you've made it to the end, congratulations, and I also hope that it's been of somewhat use, because I imagine if somebody's watching this, then they're probably in the process of buying a house themselves, maybe a new build like myself too. So I really hope that it has been useful, and I hope that you've enjoyed. If you have, then please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe down below, because there'll be lots of new house content on the way now that we've actually got the keys. And yeah, just thank you for watching and joining me on this journey. I look forward to seeing you all very soon in the next one. Leave any comments down below with questions that you might have, and we'll leave it there. Thank you and goodbye.